The security guards flanked me like I was some lowlife crook, their hands twitching near their radios as they hustled me off the 18th green. Around us, golfers in crisp polos and spotless VY sores froze mid-swing, their eyes glued to the spectacle. The silence was suffocating, broken only by the sharp click of polished golf shoes on the cart path and the smug, triumphant voice of the woman trailing behind. "Finally, someone's enforcing community standards," she crowed, loud enough to ensure every onlooker heard. Her tone dripped with the kind of vindictive glee that comes from winning a petty war you've been waging for weeks. "I've been warning the board about trespassers for months, and now we're doing something about it." I turned to the lead guard, tried to keep my voice steady. "Sir, there's been a huge misunderstanding. If you just call the main office, save it," the woman cut in, stepping between us with her arms crossed. She was maybe mid-50s, with a severe bob haircut that screamed, "I manage people's misery for a Lee-Vying," and a golf outfit that probably cost more than a used car. "We've heard your excuses before. You don't belong here, and everyone knows it." The guard shifted uncomfortably, but stood firm. "Sir, you've been warned multiple times about unauthorized access. We're just following protocol." "Protocol?" I let out a bitter laugh. "Do you even know who you're talking to?" Her eyes gleamed with malice. "Oh, here we go. Let me guess. You're someone saw. She spun to the crowd, playing to her audience. "This is the entitled Biha VY, or we're fighting, folks. Some people think rules don't apply to them." As they marched me past the manicured flower beds and the stately clubhouse where I'd pictured hosting high-stakes business dinners, the absurdity hit me like a gut punch. Here I was, banned from my own property by a woman with zero authority. It'd be hilarious if it wasn't so infuriating. But this mess didn't start with my public shaming. No, it kicked off 3 weeks earlier, when I thought I'd made the deal of a lifetime. The signing happened in a bland downtown office, the kind where million-dollar deals hide behind frosted glass, while the world outside trudges through another Tuesday. I've been chasing this acquisition for 8 grueling months, ever since my financial ad VY sore tipped me off that Green Haven Golf Resort was quietly up for grabs. The pre-VYS owners had overextended during the recession and wanted a low-key sale to save face. "Congratulations, Mr. Carter," the lawyer said as I signed the final papers. "You now own one of the county's most exclusive golf resorts." I shook his hand, more relieved than thrilled. The negotiations, inspections, appraisals, projections had drained me. All I wanted was a quiet place to golf on weekends and maybe host a few clients. The 200 acres, luxury clubhouse, and residential community? Nice bonuses, but not my focus. "When will the residents hear about the ownership change?" I asked, gathering my copies. "That's your call," the lawyer replied. "Many new owners keep it quiet for a bit to get a feel for things." That suited me fine. I built my tech company by staying out of the spotlight, letting results do the talking. Why change now? I'd spend a few weekends scoping out Green Haven, play a round or two, and decide what needed tweaking. DRIVYing through the resort's gates for the first time, I knew I'd chosen right. The entrance was understated but classy, with towering oaks lining the drive and glimpses of pristine fairways stretching into the distance. The clubhouse was a Georgian masterpiece-ered brick, white columns, a circular drive whispering old money. I parked my beat-up pickup among sleek BMWs and Porsches, headed to the pro shop in my usual khakis and polo, and that's when I met Saw. "Excuse me," a sharp voice snapped from behind as I neared the clubhouse. "Are you supposed to be here?" I turned to see a woman marching toward me, her stride screaming, "Pay attention or else." She was decked out in a cream golf ensemble, VY sore and all, her face a mix of suspicion and barely veiled disgust. "I'm sorry," I said, genuinely confused. "This is a private club," she continued, eyeing my casual getup like it was a personal insult. "Members and guests only." "Are you someone's guest?" "No, I started, but she steamrolled me." "Then you need to leave. We've had issues with unauthorized people using our facilities, and the Homeowners Association is strict about access." I could have flashed the ownership papers on my phone right then. Could have told her to call management and confirm I own the whole damn place. But her tone's mug, superior, like she'd already decided I was trash rub me raw. I wanted to see how far she'd push this little power trip. I understand your concern, I said calmly, but I'm not trespassing. There's just some confusion here. Her eyebrows shot up. Confusion? I've been HOA president for 6 years, young man. I know who belongs here, and I've never seen you before. Maybe because I'm new. I offered. She scoffed. New members get orientation. New residents get welcome packets. There's SAW procedures, SAW. You can't just wander onto private property. Lisa, an older guy in a golf sweater, called from the clubhouse steps. Board meeting's starting. You coming? She shot me a look that promised we weren't done, muttering about lack security and property values as she stormed off. I stood there, watching her vanish through the ornate doors, wondering what I'd stepped into. Over the next 2 weeks, Lisa became my shadow. Every time I showed up to golf or stroll my own grounds, she'd appear like a vengeful ghost with a new accusation. At the DRIVYing range, she got in my face again. I thought I was clear about unauthorized access. I set down my driver, and I thought I was clear I'm not unauthorized. Prove it, she snapped. Show me your membership card. Her aggression was grating, but I held back. I don't owe you documentation. One call to management would clear this up. Don't tell me what I can ask for, she barked. I'm responsible for community standards. By the third run-in, near the clubhouse pool where I was checking some maintenance issues, Lisa had back up 2 other women trailing her like a posse. Ladies, this is the guy I told you about, she announced, like I was a wanted poster. He's been trespassing despite warnings. One of them, a nervous blonde, hesitated. Are you sure he's not a new member? Trust me, Diane, Lisa said, eyes locked on me. I know every approved member. The committee hasn't met in months. The implication was clear. I didn't meet their precious standards. She vowed to file a formal complaint and threatened police action. Private property is private property, she said, smug as ever. I laughed, which sent her into a red-faced fury. You think this is funny? You think you can ignore our rules? Her campaign escalated. Lisa started tailing me with her phone, snapping photos and recording videos, narrating like a wannabe cop. Tuesday, 10:15 a.m. Subject has returned despite warnings. She grilled the pro shop staff, terrorizing a poor college kid behind the counter. Has anyone verified his membership? Has anyone seen documentation? The kid looked like he wanted to vanish. Ma'am, I can't discuss member info. I'm the HOA president, she snapped. I have every right. The breaking point came at the monthly community barbecue on the clubhouse patio. I'd shown up to get a read on the residents, blending in near the buffet, chatting with a nice retired couple. Then Lisa's voice sliced through the chatter like a siren. Security. We need security. Saw now, saw. All eyes turned as she stormed across the patio, pointing at me like I was public enemy number 1. 2 burly guards in dark suits followed. That's him, she declared. The trespasser who's been sneaking onto our property. Remove him immediately. The patio went dead quiet, dozens of eyes boring into me. I set down my plate, heart pounding but voice calm. Ma'am, there's a misunderstanding. I'm the new owner of this resort. I bought it 3 weeks ago. Lisa's laugh was a vicious bark. That's rich. Absolutely rich. She turned to the crowd. This is what I've been warning you about, someone who thinks he can lie his way out of consequences. The lead guard looked unsure. Sir, do you have documentation? Before I could answer, Lisa pounced. Of course he doesn't. I've got photos, videos, timestamps proof he's been trespassing for weeks. I pulled out my phone. I can show you the ownership papers right now. One call to management will confirm everything. Anyone can fake documents, she sneered. The guards exchanged glances, clearly swayed by her EVY denke and status. Sir, you need to come with us, one said. We'll sort this out off the property. Arguing was pointless. The crowd was eating up Lisa's narrative, and making a scene would only cement me as the bad guy. As the guards escorted me out, Lisa's voice rang out. Let this be a lesson to anyone who thinks they can ignore our standards. The applause that followed was a knife to the gut. That night, I sat in my home office, staring at the ownership papers strewn across my desk. I could have called management right then, had them blast out a memo exposing Lisa. But that felt like letting her win, like I was scrambling to justify myself. No, if she wanted to play power games, I'd show her what real power looked like. At 7 a.m. the next morning, I rolled into Greenhaven with reinforcements. My attorney, Mark Reynolds, the property management's regional director, a title company rep, and a security consultant I'd hired to review yesterday's footage. Mark glanced at me as we headed to the clubhouse. "Sure you want to do it this way? We could just send a notice." "I'm sure," I said. "Some people only get it when you face them head on." We gathered the staff in the management office's conference room, a tucked-away spot most members never saw. The dozen employees looked uneasy as I stood up. "Folks, let me introduce myself properly. I'm Ethan Carter, and as of 3 weeks ago, I own Greenhaven Golf Resort." The silence was deafening. You could see them replaying every interaction with me, their faces a mix of shock and panic. "I also need to address yesterday," I went on. "I was removed from my own property based on false accusations that were not only wrong, but potentially slanderous." The general manager, a jittery guy named Paul Watts, looked ready to bolt. "Mr. Carter, if we'd known, you shouldn't have needed to know," I cut in. "What happened was unacceptable, period. But since I saw the owner, it's a much bigger problem." Mark handed out certified copies of the deed. The security consultant pulled up footage showing Lisa's warnings where Fabricatedno official records existed. I leaned forward. How does someone with no real authority get the owner kicked out by private security? Who greenlit that? Paul stammered. "The HOA has always had influence over operations. We try to keep the peace with residents." "Peace," I said. "That was an abuse of power, and it stops now." The regional director asked, "What do you want us to do?" I thought about this all night. "Call an emergency HOA meeting for 2 p.m., get every board member and as many residents as you can. Tell Lisa the new owner's making an announcement about recent events. But don't tell her it's me." The ballroom was packed by 2 o'clock, the air thick with anticipation. Lisa held court up front, basking in her role as the community's fearless defender, oblivious to the bomb about to drop. Paul took the podium. "Thank you for coming. We're here to address recent events and introduce the resort's new owner." I stood from the back, walking slowly to the front as whispers rippled through the crowd. Lisa's smug grin morphed into confusion, then horror.